right, guys. We got audio, we got video, we got a stream. I am not in chat at all. It's asking for all my authentication details. Screw them, they can go to hell. I am going to do this for about an hour. We're just going to get to the quick and dirty. I want to play. I don't want to go through all this baloney BS that people want to throw in your way. I'm really seriously considering leaving Twitch. I've been hearing things about Kick. So let's open Director. And I had family visiting last week, so this is my first time on in a couple weeks, and that means we've got catch up to do. So let's see. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this for about an hour and get all this stuff out of the way. What do we got here? Acquire last right. Okay. Season 21, we got stuff to collect. We got Glimmer Toys. Da-da-da-da-da, come on up. Select, all right, go, 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 go. Quests, Into the Deep, speak with Drifter via the holo projector in the helm. Excellent. Here we go. Yeah, I just really wanted to play, man, and it's like the entire internet decided to throw a bunch of authentication garbage at me. And I'm not dealing with that. So no, I'm not in chat. You guys can chat amongst each other, but I'm not going through all that rigmarole. I have to go to my email and then authenticate and da 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 da. It's just this endless thing. I understand it. I'm frustrated right now just because I wanted to play. I understand what they're doing and why. Security is required. Security is important. All that good stuff. You know what? We're gonna need the right weapons. But and so I haven't been on for a couple weeks, right? When it comes to streaming or recording or anything like that, and so naturally they want to check. What am I looking for right here? So I totally understand that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't frustrate me. Let's see here. This guy was running with this, and I'm really not sure what I had up here. The crate has been phenomenal. I really like the crate, but this hung jury, I recently got hung jury, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm going to try that. So then I'll have an auto rifle and a scout rifle. That covers me for some of the champs and stuff. Okay, we're rocking Cold Comfort. I don't normally go with rocket launchers, even though I hear they're the best. They do the most damage. And Cold Comfort, like, people are just really, they find that to be pretty amazing, I guess. Let's make sure I'm all set up here. See, I'm not. I'm set up for Strand. Okay, so bam, bam, bam. We could maybe do trace rifle, but I think I'm going to stick with that scout. I'm going to go here and here, 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 here. What else do I need? Anything, really. Greatly improves benefits provided. Sure, I'll take that one. Shock and awe plus lightning strikes twice, and that should be it. Okay, there we go. Good deal. All right, pressing on. Hey, it finally occurred to me, like, this is one of those no-duh things. It took forever for the light bulb to go off for me, but the fish go in here. For some reason, I was thinking we're, like, kind of teleported into Saturn as a whole, but that's not until you go into there. So whenever I looked out here, I thought this was just the ocean, and it's not. This is, you can see the walls up there. This is the aquarium. So, man, that took me forever and a day to get. Let's go here. No? Here? I guess it's here.
What's the word, brother? All this Golden Age tech is impressive stuff. Almost makes you wonder how they lost back then. You dig? About that. If we're looking to win this time, I need Savathun's swamp to wash up a few finishing touches for my rig. Cracking skulls and looting halls is your bag, hero. That's why you're headed to her throne world.
All right.
That pyramid Savvy brought down, it's cut off from the witness. Scorn bigwigs been digging tech we can use out of that burning heap. All you have to do is find him and take it. Then you let old Drifter worry about the kit bashing. Easy. Hey, one more thing. Xivu dripping nonsense in your head, too? She's been recounting some of my more heroic exploits. Dark Age's been on my mind. You know how the past is. You pull the trigger and people die, so you don't have to. Then, someone comes along and wants to forgive you for that. Like it's fine. Won't ask what Xivu's dredging up for a killer like you. Wouldn't be polite. Thundergun's down there, though. Been under pressure so long, everybody's looking for cracks. Don't get me wrong, coin to table, she's been through it. But I don't think Sloane's looking to be told it's fine. 'Cause it ain't. 'Cause it needs to be ugly to win. And then, you live with it. See you on the other side.
All right. Drifter says he's put the salvage you've brought him to good use, but that he needs parts from a different type of machinery to further improve his device. I need Savathun's swamp to wash up a few finishing touches for my rig, he elaborates. He instructs you to travel to Savathun's throne world and secure pieces of pyramid technology from the Scorn. With it, he can modify his extraction equipment to work in the deepest trenches of Kraken Mar. Or Mare. Okay. Sounds good. What are these, what does this say? Catch fish throughout the system. Defeat Hive, yeah. Okay, so we want this stuff. Sniper rifles and glaives, okay. Void arc damage, okay. Akashic Revelation, let's see what that looks like. So I'm doing last week's quest line, and on Thursday I plan on doing this week's. Oh, I already got this. Yeah. Not a big fan of the whole fin thing. I don't know. It's a little bit too pretty. Ah, here we go. I looked at the wrong thing. Now that's cool. I want it. I absolutely want that. All right, you can go away. Okay then. So, go to destinations and hit Neptune. No, Savathun's throne world. Where's it at? Shouldn't we have a sign here that says where we're supposed to go? The guy who played this was really good. All right, let's look at the quests again, make sure everything's highlighted. Yeah, it is. Collect amorphous alloys by defeating Scorn on Savathun's throne world. Oh, okay. Well, that's simple enough. Simple enough. Open this and just land. All right, I'm going to say this from time to time just because you never know when people pop in, but I wasn't in the mood to do all the authentication rigmarole that every single one of my streaming sites wants me to go through, so I am not in chat. I don't have chat up or anything. So if you say anything to me and I don't respond, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because I was just really, like, I don't want to say pissed, but I don't have time for it. You know, it bothers me. I wanted to play the game. I'm trying to find a way to phrase it because it comes off sounding like I hate these people and like, why are you bothering me, right? And it's really, I understand why they're doing it. And in this day and age of authentication and security requirements, you know, it just doesn't surprise me. But at the same time, I didn't want to mess with it at all. There we go. This is Hung Jury. I've never had it before. I didn't know that you could just pick it up from Zavala. And I like it more than the other, I think it was Last Right, the other scout rifle that I was using, which I thought was pretty darn good. But this has a much higher rate of fire, so I think it ends up doing more DPS, and it feels really good. It's just real, I don't know, I guess smooth is the way I would describe it. I do miss the perk from the other scout rifle I was using, though, where it overloaded and it loaded in the background. That thing could get up to 35 shots in its magazine. That was pretty phenomenal. Oh, here we go. I'll throw a grenade out there. All right. Storm the gates over here. Oh man, she blow up? That's right, this thing causes things to blow up. Is that too far away? I think so. You sound horrible. I'll get rid of you just to get rid of that sound. Forensic Nightmare with a pattern. Not bad. Oh, that's gonna be a one-way trip, amigo. Unfairest Crib. Man, people come up with some weird usernames. Merrill Family, Hitherbat, Knight. All right, where are we at for this this quest? Quests 17 of 20. Okay, good deal. $18, $19. Oh, that's unfairest. I only need one more. Where is it gonna come from? Here we go. Yeah, man, a scout rifle can really kind of reach out and grab somebody, huh? I didn't mean to grab that. I did that out of instinct. It's because I've been running a lot of strand missions with my hunter.
You got a
So I'm used to just picking up those patrols every time I see them. And I finally got enough strand to buy all of the aspects I needed for the build I wanted. So I've been playing on my hunter quite a bit lately. Look at this vista, man. Oh, you can't get up to the edge? No, there's nothing really to see, but that's nice. That's pretty looking. Hey, so obviously with me not being in chat, I'm kind of doing stream of conscious here. Let's not go this way. I think this is a lost sector. But I've been looking at Starfield, and wondering if anybody else out there is getting kind of excited for that. I don't know quite how. I have mixed emotions on it, and like there's so many. There's like 3 different vectors that are at play for me. One is I watched not the Starfield Direct, but I watched a couple videos that were going over the Starfield Direct. And oh no, not again. See, I'm used to that hunter triple jump. And I got excited. So I hadn't paid attention to Star Direct for or Starfield for at least a year. It's possible that's been 2 years. I'll glance in on it every now and again just to kind of see like anticipated release date or anything like that. So that's what I did here recently. I was just checking to see, okay, what's the progress of Starfield here lately? And then I saw that they had just in the past few days released this Starfield Direct video, and they came up with a release date of the end of August, I guess, of this year. So listened to some people talk about it and saw the excitement of the community, and it got me excited. But riding right along with that is that I like space games, but I don't know if I like this kind of space game with the whole No Man's Sky exploration kind of thing, as opposed to the combat of Elite Dangerous, for example. I like combat. I like piloting. I like missions with a storyline of a great struggle, and you're fighting for one army and trying to take out evil on the other side. Those are the kinds of things that appeal to me. And this game looks like it's going to have a little bit of everything, but that a big part of it is exploration, and I'm not quite sure how excited I am about that, you know. So it's mixed. Those are 2 contrasting feelings. I'm excited for the game because it's Bethesda. It's advertised as Skyrim in space, you know, but I really prefer sword and board and more typical fantasy settings, and so I have sort of this. Am I excited for the wrong reason? I don't quite know how to feel about it. You know, I watch the game, I'm like, it's pretty, but it doesn't grab me. So I wonder then, is it my kind of game? I don't really wonder whether or not it's going to be a good game or not in this area. I wonder if it's my kind of game. And then the third thing is what I just mentioned. It's, can I trust these people? You know, Fallout 76, I've never been into the Fallout series. So I didn't play it myself, but I saw the outcry against it. You know, and then I saw that Microsoft bought it. I'm going to touch on something here, and it's a can of worms and that I don't want to get into, but it's part of the reality here, and it helps express another one of my concerns. No matter where you might be in your political persuasions, let's say, when you start seeing things happen like what happened with Call of Duty, and before that, the stuff that happened with Mass Effect 3, where Fable is doing it now, where the female character is made ugly on purpose. You know, I can appreciate when somebody's being authentic and straightforward. It's when you start seeing pandering that when pandering is happening because corporations are trying to appease people, that's where you're like, I don't know, how's this going to affect the game? That's a mindset that I don't appreciate seeing in games. I think it hurts games. You know, so before that you had Gamergate, and my understanding is that Gamergate was proven to be, like, the people that were making the complaints were right. There were people in the Access media that were exchanging bedfellow favors for inside scoops and stuff like that with game designers, and that's gross. You know, that's a problem, because it means that you're being a shill, right? You're wanting the inside access because this is what your livelihood depends upon, and you're willing to write whatever in order to, well, that, you know, in order to ensure your access and your brand. Well, that's not what journalism's about. We don't read magazines and articles that cover gaming and PCs and, you know, hardware and software and stuff in order to read your brand. We're reading that stuff in order to ascertain whether or not we want to play this game, and you're a trusted reviewer. So whenever you betray that trust, effectively, your brand is over. That's the whole thing with journalism. It's credibility. And if you turn out to be a shill, then you're not a journalist. You're a shill. You know? Okay, so what I'm trying to paint the picture of is we have this long-standing trend now of cooperation within the review category and the corporate category, and then you get politics mixed into it, social politics, not politics like government, although it probably ties to that, you know, whether you're conservative or liberal, for example. But I'm talking social politics where people are pushing agendas, and they're doing it in the background through the use of coercion and corporate cooperation. Well, who trusts that? You know, you don't get a good game that way. So all of the games that I have seen kowtow to this social pressure of things, they suck. You know, they're terrible. And I am not very trustworthy of Microsoft. I wasn't very trustworthy of Bethesda with this, but particularly with Microsoft. So those are concerns for me, you know. Did I ever get my 30%? I sure did. Okay, so we're wasting time. I got this fake accent that comes out whenever I get chippy about stuff. It's because of where I grew up. I grew up in Central Florida. You know, I say Florida, but the people that I hung out with, they say Florida. You know, so all of my friends were from one of the 5 boroughs, and I just kind of picked up. I've always liked the New York accent. I like mob movies, or I have in the past, you know. I don't know. There's something about the entire... It's not so much anymore, but growing up for me, the mystique of New York City was a draw, and I liked all these movies about how that city kind of developed and came up, and the different factions going on. Anyway, you know, long story short, I kind of picked up the accent on accident. I didn't do it on purpose. I just liked it. And it's a fake accent. Those of you who are actually from the Northeast, you could tell, right? But the funniest thing that happens, I think that I'm in this area of, I like communication. Like, one of my favorite things whenever I lived in Europe was meeting somebody who spoke a little bit of my language and I spoke a little bit of their language, and then we would basically play like win, lose, or draw for the nouns and adjectives that we didn't know. So you're drawing pictures to fill in the blanks, right? And you'd be sitting at a bar sharing a beer with somebody, and you can have this meeting of the minds, and you can overcome communication barriers. And another example I can think of is back when Trayvon Martin thing happened. Wow, I'm really riffing on life right now instead of playing the game, huh? But I'm going to finish this story. When the Trayvon Martin thing happened, there was all kinds of stuff wrapped up in that, including MSNBC doctoring the 911 tapes. That was incredible. That blew my mind, man. Is that even legal? I can't believe nobody went to jail over that. But when that happened, I remember that this girl was called up to the stand. She lived in South Miami. She was a black girl, and she spoke Ebonics, right? And there was this sort of like complete, I don't know, a lash out on Twitter. A bunch of people reacted, and they were making fun of her grammar, right? They're like, what even are you saying? Can you even speak English? Right? So I was like, okay, well. So I went and found the testimony, and I listened to her. And my goodness, okay, it wasn't grammar school perfect English. I get that. It was a dialect. But it was really, really easy to tell what she was saying. Anybody, no matter where you're from or what your background is, whether you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, whether you're from, Boston with all the money and a family name, and you speak with your own dialect, and you have like a fake American/English accent, and you go to Harvard. Even if you're that kind of a background, if you listen to this girl, you could understand her. It was ridiculous. And so what I'm kind of showing is that I like communication. I understand that the idea is not to be camped out on somebody's expression of a word or a sentence or a paragraph in its correct format. The idea behind communication is me effectively communicating the picture in my mind to you. That's why body language is important. There's whole lexicons of meaning. That's why whenever people decided to kneel for the flag, that was the most stupid thing that they could have ever done. That was absolutely retarded. I don't care if you're offended. I'm not speaking from any kind of political bias here. I'm speaking from a communication standpoint, because symbols have entire lexicons of meaning. And whenever you decide to take that up as your symbol, because it has such a wide range of meaning to a whole bunch of different people, you are absolutely going to step on people's toes. It's a bad marketing strategy. It was dumb. It was dumb. Stupid people did that. You're stupid if you thought that was a good idea. You're a stupid person. You need to figure that shiznit out and correct yourself, because that's going to hurt you in the long run in your life. But so the idea is being able to communicate the picture in my mind to somebody else. So I like communication, and I like the idea of communication, the ideas behind communication. I like effective communication. So whenever you get games that begin to kowtow to hidden agendas behind the scenes, you get a crap game. It's not entertaining. It's not fun, because they have a whole different set of people. They're not trying to please you. They're trying to please board members behind the scenes, or something like an ESG score or something like that. That's why Disney's able to put these movies that nobody likes into the theater, and they don't care that nobody comes to see it. They made their money on the back end. They don't care about the customer. That's what's happening, like it or not. You can argue against that if you want. I think you're wrong. I think it's clear as day. And so that's hurting us, the consumers, and we're paying for garbage. And so that's what I get worried about with Starfield. It's like, okay, how much of this... See, I don't want to call it woke anymore. I understand what woke is. But woke is, some people are for it. Well, okay. I don't agree with you, but I ain't going to blast you for it. Everybody's got a right to think what they want to think, and you have your own experiences and your own context. I get that. But I like to use the word pandering, because these corporations certainly don't care about the plight of anybody. Yeah, you can hear my accent coming out again because I'm getting feisty. Look at me not playing. I came on here to play the season mission, and I don't know how I ended up in all this. But hopefully that makes sense. We'll put a bow on it right there. this stuff that happened with Call of Duty where this guy got kicked off, you know, basically deplatformed. That's ridiculous. The stuff going on with Fable where they got this ugly character. They didn't make any of the male characters ugly, so they're not too concerned about sexualization or stereotypes or anything like that. It's only the female character. And why would you do that anyway? I don't know a single girl that doesn't want to be pretty. Even if she's not born tremendously gorgeous, she does everything she can. She wants to look cute, and it's not for you. Sometimes it's just for her. You know? I get that. I understand that. I don't know any females that think, like, I just want to be atrocious. Unless they've got trauma and a problem. Underlying problems that need to be addressed in other ways. You know? That's the exception to the rule. And that's understandable. So I don't think what Fable's doing, I don't think that's a smart move. And I don't think they care about, you know, the quote-unquote male gaze or anything like that. I think they're pandering. I think they're getting paid by somebody or coerced, or the, you know, the pincers are being pressed in on them. I don't know what it is, but somebody has shook them. They're scared, or they think this will pay off in the long run. And I ain't about it, man. So we'll see what that looks like whenever it comes out. That was a great franchise that had its own totally unique feel, and now it feels like a cookie cutter cheap imitation, you know, just based off of the trailer that I watched. But we're really early in the process, so I'm not passing final judgment. I'm more echo. I'm voicing what worries me right now, and worry is not always rational, right? I ain't trying to be rational right now. I'm trying to express these are the things that concern me. And Starfield, same thing. I've not seen one single solitary piece of evidence that would make me concerned that they would be going in this direction. I just don't trust Microsoft. That shiznit worries me. So let's go ahead and turn this quest in. Man, I did not expect to just riff on... Man, maybe it's a good thing that chat didn't come up for me. It got me in this mood to just kind of say what I wanted to say, and I don't really let the chips fall where they may. I don't care. You know? Yeah, the helm. I need to come back here. I wonder if I should do this more often. Maybe go to Rumble and stream on Rumble and just do a stream of conscious while playing in video games and talk about whatever. I hear, I'm here. I think it might be possible. I don't know this. I'm like a troglodyte when it comes to social media. I'm not as up to speed as some of you young guns out there, but seems to me like it's possible to stream on Twitter now. I don't know if that's a paid option or what. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I've heard Twitter as a potential option. I've heard Kick is blowing everybody's mind right now. And I keep hearing people say the same thing. They're like, man, this is awesome, but is it sustainable? You know? So might be looking into Kick in the future. That's how word of mouth works. See, I'm not an insider on this stuff. I'm not a pro. I don't know what the heck's going on. Deep dive activity. All right. This is where we'll wrap it up, because I don't exactly know where the last week's questline was supposed to end. So we're just going to do this right here. And then I think we'll call it an episode. What time is it? It's getting up on 8 o'clock. So I think I've only been streaming for about a half hour, actually. It'll probably be 45 minutes by the time we're done with this. But yeah, I don't... there's so many things that I don't know about streaming and stuff. Like, I do a couple things well. I think that I talk. I can get a stream of consciousness going. And that's one of the things about hey, Crimson's in here. Leaving Twitch. Oh my god, Starfield. Ooh, great takes. Hey, Crimson, thanks, man. I appreciate the Crimson hopped into the game, guys, to send me a whisper to let me know that he can hear me and that he liked my takes. Dude, I appreciate that, man, because I get nervous about these things. I'm not so nervous about the platform. I don't really, I don't tweak like that, man. I don't get nervous about what YouTube might do or not do. I get more nervous that I might hurt somebody's feelings that is in a situation that I don't know their circumstances, you know? So, but you know, you can't not communicate over nervousness of hurting people's feelings. That's actually how you develop more functional relationships, is by being so. I have all these competing things in my mind. I've been around the block for a little while, so I kind of have a deeper understanding of how these kinds of things work. And I'm also self-aware. Not everybody is. That's you gotta understand what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. I'm socially awkward. Sometimes I don't have a filter. I see things differently than people sometimes, which puts me on the outside looking in or makes me awkward in social environments occasionally. You know, those are some of my weak links, but one of my strengths is, and I consider it a blessing, is that I'm self-aware. I can get outside of myself and analyze and critique myself. I can't do it perfectly, nobody can, but some people just, they don't have that in them at all. They're not self-aware in the least.
And I'll keep reinforcements off your back.
And that's not a knock on them. It's personality types. Oh, just missed it. So, anyway. Point being that I don't know the ins and outs of this stuff like some of you young guns do. And so, I'm just hearing about Kick because of word of mouth. And that's how that stuff works. When you do things the right way, or you do things that people like, word of mouth travels. But it takes guts. It takes some courage. It takes the willingness to be different. I have my buttons set up in the wrong way for this kind of a build, I think. Yeah, maybe not. I can't spam my punch as much as I normally would like to. But the way my buttons are set up is that if I'm close by to an enemy, it will not throw that powered melee. It'll just, because I have the auto melee going, and that's for my hunter build. Not all of them. It's a specific hunter build. It's the Assassin's Cal build, where you're doing a lot of punching. Let's just take this dude out.
That's our target. Strike quickly while Sloan draws off reinforcements.
We'll get that super back pretty quick. Now, while I'm thinking about it, that's also, you know what? Everybody wants to make it, right? And they set these goals. And sometimes people get so rigid in their goals that they could be having some success in another way, and they don't recognize it because it's not what they set out to do. And that's something I think that I've done okay at throughout my life. I can find a silver lining with anything. Would it be nice to be a big streamer and actually make money off of this? Yeah, it would. You know, I'm somebody who, I help take care of my parents and stuff. I've never been a big money person. I'm not kidding you guys. I have never sold a thing in my life that I can think of. I always give it away. I've given computers away. I've given Xboxes and PlayStations away. You know, back whenever I had more money. And I'm not necessarily a good person for it. I'm not trying to say that. I wake up that way. You know, in my opinion, if you don't have to work at it, then it don't count.
like to hear it
There
firsthand as
are.
well.
Then you heard it here
Let's let
first.
them finish their
Deputy's
dialogue.
recommendation is to stay the course and dive as deep as we need to.
There are some people out there, for example, that are really, really, really hard workers. And they tend to have a harsh judgment on those who can't keep up with them or don't want to work that hard. They want off time also, right? But these are the same people that they wake up at home in their off time and they're like, what do I want to do today? Well, I'm going to go to my backyard and build a shed. Man, you ain't nobody special for having for being a hard worker like you. That's not a work ethic that you're demonstrating. Don't get a big head. You just wake up that way. That's how God made you. And so this is kind of the same way that I feel about. I tend to be a giving person,
Let's avenge them.
but it's because I'm naturally that way. It's not something that I have to. It's not sacrificial in nature. I just do it. So I don't know why I went into that, but I'm saying, like, I have older parents that I'm taking care of, and we've all pulled our resources and stuff. So I'm trying to show, would it be nice to make money off of this? Yeah, it would. But the upside of being a small streamer is that you don't have to give a F. I know I don't normally talk that way on my station, and I apologize to those who I've advertised it a certain way, but I've also said streams are different, right? And this, going back to what I was talking about earlier about the art of communication, don't get hung up on words, get hung up on whether they transmit the feeling and the picture you have in your mind. And in this case, that word does. That word does. I don't give a F. You know, if for some of the things that I see people get harped on and punished by these platforms for doing, it's so tit-tat. It's so small and petty that I'm like, you're wrong. You people are wrong. And I'm against you. I don't care what you do. You know? On the one hand, I do believe that you have the right to have your own your own platform. I believe in that. I used to serve in the military. These are the kinds of things that I would die for in order to ensure that you have the freedom to do that. It's your platform. You do what you want, right? And that's why I try to keep things toned down on YouTube on certain topics, because I know that they wouldn't appreciate it, and in the regards that I'm thinking of, they would be, in my opinion, within their right. It's their platform. I get it. There are other things, like what happened with that Call of Duty thing. That dude said, leave kids alone. That's all he said. He said, leave kids alone, and they banned him for it. What in the hell kind of monster are you that you can't get with that? There are people in all of the full rainbow spectrum of society that agree with that statement. And that's why I'm saying these companies don't care. They don't care about you. They're pandering. They're lying. It's so that they can make their profits and their board members can go home happy, and these people can continue living in the millions that they're used to. They don't care. I hate pandering. It's not that I hate pandering. I hate disingenuousness.
Guardian, hostiles converging on you. Eyes up.
And, you know, I think that society is beginning to figure these things out. We are in such a great time. We are in such a fantastic time. I once heard somebody say a couple years ago, the line no longer cuts vertical between left and right like it used to. You know, talking about political ideologies. The line now cuts horizontal. It's between elites and the regular people. And that means that you have people that have left persuasions and people who have right persuasions that are teaming up. Because they're starting to recognize we're all being fed off of like cattle, man. I mean, maybe that's a bit melodramatic to put it that way. I could see that. But I think it's such a great time to just see the awakening that's happening is how I would term it. And I know that that's kind of a loaded term. I don't mean it in any kind of sense that people might, you know, there are some religious connotations to that, and there's also some conspiracy theory connotations to that. And I'm saying, even though I'm a religious-minded person, that's not how I mean it.
But I'm having trouble understanding her approach on Titan.
Let's see. Let's take the
From
grenade.
the time I spent here, coming after
Boy,
Oslo's
I'm getting
purged
carried
savaging
here.
horrific
My
data.
team is having to do the
Hive
work while I
see
riff
Ossa
on
as a
social
coward,
issues.
heretic. She tried to stop them from finding the other worms. It's not enough to banish her. She has to die.
Well, what do we got here? Is this collectible? No. Okay, this is what we need right here. I can't seem to get that. There we go. Alright, so that should open up a door back here. This is where I'm contributing to the group. My experience here helped my group find their way. Now this is a picture of how it works too in like real life, you know, like in the military. At some point in time, you got to be the voice of experience. Your young guns need it. Your young guns don't know what's going on, but they got all the vigor and vim. They got all the energy, they got all the testosterone, or in some cases estrogen, because you got some pretty boss girls out there. I kid you not, man, you do. It's, you know, everybody, you got personality types. And all they need is to be pointed in the right direction. And that's what you're there for, because you can't do that hard lifting no more. You're too old. The knees don't work right. You know, you're not as fast as you used to be. You wear out quicker. And this is a picture of all of society. It's one of the reasons I have so much respect for, even though my interest over the years has been in European history, I'm drawn to that for whatever reason. I've done a lot of looking into European history and not very much into Asian history. But something that I really respect about Asian culture is they respect their elders. And they understand how society functions together, where everybody's got a role. And that's maybe easy for me to say as an older person now. I'm pushing 50. But I believed in that whenever I was younger too. Every young generation has its points where it's frustrated with the older generation, and I had that whenever I was a kid growing up and a young adult. And you can feel it whenever you're ascending, right? Whenever your power's growing stronger and your life is coming together and the torch is being passed. But I never sneered at older people. I value them too much. You know, I think that one of the smartest things that I did whenever I was younger was realize that I didn't know anything, and to be okay with that, to not feel threatened or put down, you know. And so I listened to older people. My dad once told me, I was arguing with him, oh boy, because my personality type, if I've researched into something and I think I know it, then I'm willing to listen to your argument. But if you're not able to bring data to the table and prove it to me, then I oftentimes think I just know more than you. And I'm not mad at you or anything like that, but I just don't want to listen to you, right? And my dad is more of the wisdom type, and he has really great instincts. So we used to have some absolute wars where I would be asking him to prove his point and talk to me about things and explain his case, and that's not how he operated. So there was lots of times that I felt like, oh, Dad, you're just, you know, you're old and it's passed you by. It's a different era now. These are the things I used to say. These are the things every kid says, right? We all feel that way at some point in time. And my dad told me one time, oh my gosh, he lit me up on this. I've never forgotten it. He said, well, we were in my grandmother's house. He said, oh, yeah, I see what you mean. He was like, you should get a tape recorder. And this is back in the day. I told you I'm pushing 50, so tape recorder, right? He said, you should go back and get a tape recorder right now and record what you just said, because it's really smart. And I was like, really? Because I wasn't used to my dad, you know, being complimentary towards me like that. And in fact, he was not being complimentary. This was a compliment. He said, yeah, you should record. In fact, you should record all the smart things that you say right now, so that when you get older and dumber, you can go back and remember all the wisdom that you had when you were 17. And when he put it into that, it immediately forced me to look at things differently, because the other thing that young people do is that they always feel like the future is brighter and better because they're getting stronger, right? That they're going to continue improving. They're going to continue getting better. And so whenever he showed me that the attitude that I was holding was that I know everything right now, and that by implication what that meant is that as I aged and I got older, I would get worse. You know, and I'm 17 at the time, so we're talking about headed towards 25. I was going to get worse, not stronger. It shut me up. It shut me up for weeks. I thought about it a lot. Because there's a lot of lines of thought that you can take that down. Here we go.
Collection tanks are full and safe.
So he effectively flipped the tables and made me apply my own thinking, or the implications of my thinking, to myself. And I didn't like it at all. I didn't like what it meant. If the implications of what I was doing, the attitude that I had, were true, it would mean that my future was not bright, that I was not going to get stronger, that everything was going to get worse, right? And that's whenever I realized I was being a tool. There we go. Tell you what, we just had Father's Day, and with a few exceptions, because I understand there's some people out there who have some truly dramatic stories, but no matter how rocky your relationship is, if you had a dad that tried to pass anything at all on to you, even if he wasn't there all the time, is kind of, you know, you might have legitimate complaints, and you don't necessarily have to feel like your dad was a good guy. I'm not saying that. Maybe he was a bad guy. Maybe your dad wasn't there whenever you really needed him. Maybe he took off on you when you were young. But if you had any interaction at all with your dad and he was able to pass anything at all on to you, you should be grateful for that. There's just, not that you shouldn't be grateful for mothers either. It's just they're unique. What you can get from your mom and what you can get from your dad are unique. That guy pushed me out of the way. I'm gonna try doing this and see if I live to tell the tale. No. Oh, somebody just died. Can I get you up? There we go. Let's try that rocket. This is Cold Comfort. Oh, you get 2 rockets at a time plus that quick reload time. No, not 2 rockets. Maybe it's 2 rockets every now and again. I don't know. OG loading. Oh, so, what are you shooting at, bud? Oh, there we go. I'm like, I need to be on your target. What are we doing? Yeah, Starfield, we'll see how it plays out. But I'm at least a little bit excited. I like that they said the game's designed to play for a really long time. That means that there's a whole bunch of little nuances and stuff that at least they're intending it to be that way. A lot of immersion, a lot. Ah, died. Okay, one more, again, because you don't know when people might be jumping in, I am not up in chat. Just, I wanted to play the game really bad today. Dang it, I went right into that beam. And because I haven't been on for a week. Gosh, is it a week or 2 weeks? Anyway, I haven't been on for a while, so like every app out there wanted me to re-authenticate and go to my Gmail and get the authentication code, and I'm like, I'm not about it. I want to play the game. Oh gosh, I can't get out of danger. I'm playing pretty bad in this. I don't normally die this much. On this particular one, I tend to be pretty good. Alright, I'm up. Let's get, okay. Let's take these guys down, these snipers. Dang it, who's killing me? Oh, I don't want to be here. This is... Alright, we got another sniper out there. I don't want snipers. Golly, that guy was tougher than I expected. There we go. Yeah, Hung Jury is pretty nice, man. I like it. Looks like we just won. My team carried me through the whole thing. I guess maybe that's what it is, guys. You could tell I haven't been on for a week or two because with the family that we had visiting, they have different perspectives than me, so I had to bottle a lot of stuff up. So that might be also another reason why I kind of went off a little bit tonight. Because, you know, we're talking about social and tech stuff that a lot of my family wouldn't even really know about. They wouldn't get the nuances. And then on top of that, they have different perspectives politically and stuff like that. All right, these guys have a lot of dialogue that I'm not interested in. Let's find out what the next thing is. Witness conversation. This is, we'll go do this. Let's see, looks like we got some accomplishments. Claim reward, successfully complete encounters at any depth. Okay. Okay, destinations. Open up the helm. We'll head over there. We'll go through, this would be the wrap up conversation, and then I might be wrong. I could very well be wrong, but I'm gonna guess that this is where last week's mission ended, and we'll pick up wherever this story continues after we go through this dialogue. We'll pick that up on Thursday and knock out this week's stuff, and then maybe I'll show you guys what I've been doing on my hunter. It's been fun. I've never really enjoyed the hunter class as much as I am right now. And I still think it's my third favorite. You know, out of the three classes, it brings up the back end, but I have had fun. Okay, witness conversation. That's gonna be in here, I guess.
This is awful.
Sure is.
Oh, here we go.
You ever been outside of Seoul?
Never had a reason to.
Can't say I recommend it. Saw some stuff while I was out there. Bad stuff. A world colder than you can imagine. Creatures that suppressed the light. My crew. Let's just say we wore out our welcome. Creatures started closing in. Trigger fingers got itchy.
Oh no.
Some of us froze to death. A lightless, final death. The others, they didn't go so quiet. Not until I shut them up. Not sure how long I stayed after that. Had to mod my ghost to survive. Used the parts from... I did what it took to get off-world. And now I'm here.
I'm no stranger to combat, but... How did you leave it all behind?
Didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
Some things you carry with you forever. But eventually, they stop feeling too heavy to lift.
That's a good way to put it.
Thanks for the drink, Drifter.
And that's if you confront it. Because a lot of people
Anytime.
just shelve it.
Slow.
They sweep it under the floor. And that causes real problems down the road. That was pretty good dialogue there. So he lives on a ghost ship, basically. He had to kill his crew. All right, I think we're done. Yeah, I got 23 of these guys. Oh, you know what? Do I have a red border that I can buy? I don't think so. I think I got it with my one of my other characters. Oh, no, I do. All right, we're going to grab that. And that should give me 2. Oh, we got 3. All right. All right, good deal. Not a bad haul. And take this out. Man, I'm going to be trying something called keto with my diet here next week, and I'm not looking forward to it. So tonight, I don't care. I'm going to get cinnamon rolls. I'm going to eat what I want this week, and then next week I'm going to try this keto thing. All right, guys, wish me luck. And, well, you don't have to, because you'll see me again Thursday before next week starts. But we're done for tonight. Thank you for dropping in. Special thanks to Crimson for hopping in game and sending me a whisper. I'm sorry to anybody who may have been trying to talk with me because I just wasn't in chat tonight. But I will be on Thursday. All right, I just wasn't in the mood for it tonight. I was in a hurry, and I wanted to get this... not that I wanted to get it done. I wanted to get to it. I hadn't streamed in a while, and this is fun for me. So anyway, I will talk at you guys later. God bless you wherever you at. Whatever your background is, please don't take offense. Yeah, most people don't. I don't even know. That's another thing. See, like, our society's been engineered where I feel like I need to, what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but qualify. Whenever I say something like God bless, and people just... Weirdos are the ones that care about that. Like, don't you tell me God bless. Right? Normal people understand what you mean. So, I don't know. My whole thing is not of this world. I try to keep the world from getting over me, getting onto me as much as possible. But we live in it. So you're in and out, in and out. Anyway, that probably doesn't make sense to a whole lot of people, and I'm rambling now. So I will say la vie, and I'll say good night, and I will see you guys on Thursday.